if I want to marry a non-Muslim and he wants to marry me, then how could they convert to Islam? What are the ways? As far as marrying a non-Muslim is concerned, Allah is very clear-cut in the Quran in Surah Baqarah chapter number 2 verse number 221, that where it says that do not marry unbelieving women until they believe. A believing woman, even if she's a bondswoman, is better than an unbelieving woman, even if she allows you. That means the Quran is very clear-cut. Do not marry a mushrika, an idolatress, until she believes. A believing bondswoman, she may be a slave woman, she may be a black woman, she may be an ugly woman, is much better than a believing woman, even if she allows you. She may be the most beautiful woman in the world, she may be the beauty queen, but if she is the unbeliever, if she is the mushrika, a believing woman who is ugly is far superior to the most beautiful woman, even if she allows you. This verse of the Quran is very clear-cut. And the verse continues that do not marry the woman to a believing man. Do not marry the believing woman to a mushrik, to an idolater, until he believes. A believing man is much better than a mushrik, than an idolater, even if he allows you. Means as far as marrying your woman folk is concerned, your daughter, etc., a believing man, he may be a poor man, he may be a slave man, is much better than a mushrik man, even if he allows you. He may be the most handsome man, he may be the richest man, he may be a king, but the believing man is much better than an unbelieving king or the richest man. This verse is very clear-cut. So as far as the question is concerned, that if a non-Muslim wants to marry you, and if he wants to accept Islam, what should you do? If he willingly accepts Islam, and the girl or the boy, the mushrik or the mushrika, or the unbelieving woman or the unbelieving man, if they willingly agree, they have to minimum believe in two criteria. Number one, that they have to believe that there is no God but Allah. And number two, they should believe that Prophet Muhammad is the last and final messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are the minimum two criteria for any non-Muslim to accept Islam. Once they accept this, but natural, then the practice of Islam is there. Number one, of course, is the Shahada, which they have to recite, believe in one God, that is Tawheed, and Prophet Muhammad is the messenger. Number two comes the Salah, then comes the Zakat, then comes fasting in the month of Ramadan, then if they have the means, they should perform Hajj, if they have the means and the wealth. These follow later on. But first is Iman, believing there's one God and Prophet Muhammad is the messenger. Prophet Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. If they believe that, but naturally the best is that you go to a local Islamic center in your area and see to it that you tell them that this particular non-Muslim wants to accept Islam. And if you're living in a non-Muslim country, you should see to it that you make the documents proper and legal so that no one lays allegation to you tomorrow that you force someone to accept Islam. Even if it's a Muslim country, make the documents. If the documents are correct, but see to it that you are marrying her for her virtue. If you as a Muslim boy or a Muslim girl is marrying a non-Muslim who is willing to accept Islam just because of infatuation, then that is not the correct approach. Our beloved Prophet ﷺ said that when you look into a life partner, you look for four things. Number one, it is wealth. Number two is beauty. Third is nobility. And fourth is virtue, that is deen. And the best amongst all is the deen, is the virtue. So marrying a virtuous person is the most important compared to all the rest. So if you feel that yes, there are some non-Muslims after accepting Islam, they are very virtuous and much better than many of the practicing Muslims. So if that is the case, that if she is a virtuous woman or if he is a virtuous man, if that is the case, then no problem. But see to it that they accept Islam because they like Islam, not because just they want to marry you. If this thing is there, then Bismillah, you can go ahead and see to it that you teach the teachings of the Quran and the Hadith to the spouse after you marry, and see to it that you both of you get closer and closer to the Quran and Hadith. Hope that answers the question.